Well, spiritually speaking, like my hair and my teeth are falling out. Hey folks, and welcome to this video on breaking the trauma bond. One of the problems that I see with clients, with people who are following my work, it comes up time and again, is how do I get over my ex? You know, I absolutely hated them. It was an awful experience. I know that they were a narcissistic psychopath, a histrionic, a borderline. They were abusive, they were an alcoholic, they stole money from me, they cheated on me, they gave me an STD, and yet I'm still thinking about them. That's quite annoying. I've been through it too, been through it twice now. That's the heavy bit. What is this weird bond that the narcissistic cluster B personality type seems to have over us? What is this power that they have? It's hard for people with CPTSD to accept that which they have deemed to be unacceptable. It's hard for the ego sometimes to let go of the game, the points scoring game. The burn to the ego is tremendous. The idea that we have let this person get away with such terrible things and that we didn't stand up for ourselves, that we didn't stop them, that we didn't protect ourselves effectively, is a source of deep pain, which, if unchecked and unprocessed, can actually become bitterness. A deep wellspring of shame and bitterness held in the mind and held in the heart is not good for the personality. This is how people start to develop personality disorders themselves. This is how personality disorders can go from being passive or self-destructive and self-negating to actually becoming predatory upon others. They start lashing outward, particularly and most tragically towards the people who are closest to them, towards the people who are most likely to give them the intimacy and the connectivity they most crave. Heavy problem, my dudes. Heavy problem indeed. When I'm talking to clients and when I'm talking to people who follow my stuff sometimes, and they talk about the narcissist, it sounds like a brother-sister argument. It sounds like sibling rivalry. He took that from me. I think I should use this strategy to get back at him. And then I have gently, patiently have to guide the client back and go, well, is that what you want? Or do you authentically want to get on with the rest of your life like a sovereign adult? That striving to understand is why so many people who are coming out of narcissistic abusive relationships, they want to talk about it. They want to gut spill. They want to write essays about what occurred. It's like, here's all the evidence. Look, do you remember that there's a meme going around with a guy like this? And then there's like lines onto different pictures for him trying to figure out. He looks like he's been awake for too long and drunk too much coffee. A few lines of coke and say that. I've got it all figured out. Like this big map of stuff that's going on. That's what people are like. And it is confusing, and they're looking at the map of what happened and they're going, out there externally, there's the key. If I can find it and I can figure this whole thing out. And you have to sort of go, oh yeah, it's a cool map, bro. But what we need to do is we need to just come over, we'll come back to your map. It's great. Just come over here for a second. How are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? Why are you asking me how I'm feeling? The map, look at it. Nah, yeah, I know, the map, man. Yeah, the map, the story. The story, we're surely gonna find the way out of this maze by staring at the walls of the maze. Yeah, we are, totally. That's worked for you up until now, so we'll keep doing that. But right now, how do you feel? Right now. And you bring them into how they feel, and it's always sadness, it's always grief and loss. Don't run from that. That's how you get out. And to the extent that there is a traumatic bond, a trauma bond, how can we break it? It seems to be the case that there is the possibility of breaking that trauma bond, that hold that the person has over us, by processing and allowing all of the emotions around it. Why am I saying all? I'm doing this with my hands. I'm trying to express to you that when I tell you to go and do an emotional literacy exercise, or when I'm telling you to process your emotions, I'm not saying only process the emotions you can handle. I'm not saying only process the emotions that make you feel like you're in control. We don't get to cherry pick. If I'm saying commit to emotional processing, you don't get to cherry pick which emotions you're processing and then come back to me and go, you know, loads of people have told you it worked really, really well for them. Well, it didn't for me. And I'm like, are you doing the exercises? And they go, yeah. So I presume that they're telling the truth. And then I say, are you processing all of the emotions? Pause. Yeah. Pausing ain't great. It's not really a lie per se, but you know that the person isn't telling you the whole truth. It's not that the person doesn't want to tell you the truth. They do want to tell you the truth, but there are some truths that for people who are in a deep state of trauma, they can't speak it. They literally don't have the capacity to speak it. So what do? The solution to your problem is not where you think it is, and I can prove it to you in 10 seconds. How are you going to have a solution to a problem when you have defined the problem all wrong? You're looking outward. You're looking at the map, the story. Dude, it doesn't, none of that. What I suggest is that there is a methodology. You need at least a very basic level understanding of emotional literacy. Whatever it is, no matter how unacceptable and how much I want to reject it, I'm radically going to accept the whole thing. Being able to access the grief, being able to access the reality of what happened, and being able to take it and grow through it, transcend it. Don't spiritual bypass around it. There's nothing magic about turning up to counseling. Nothing. There's nothing magic about watching one of my videos. There's nothing magic about doing one of my courses. It's got to be a regular acknowledgement of how you feel and who you are. All of this is a manifestation of codependency and CPTSD. You were lured into the relationship because of codependency. They evoked flashbacks in you. Totally. They told you a sad story. I seem sad and I tell them my sad story, or I show up with my arm in a cast and they want to help me. And then as they come closer and closer trying to help me, that's when I sink my teeth into them. I can make you feel sorry for me in the way that at the deepest levels you feel sorry for the child inside of you that was abandoned. You think that if you rescue me, you're kind of rescuing yourself, Clarice. And it's codependency that hurts you today, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years after it's over. I think that people don't really want to hear this because it's too simple. And we've all convinced ourselves that our case is special. No, I was the one empath, black sheep that could love a golden child narcissist back to life. Okay. So there are many things that need to be let go of here, that we need to grow through, that we need to emotionally mature from. Those lambs are already gone, Clarice. They cannot be saved. You can't save the spring lambs. So you have to move away from the map, the external, the story, the fascination. You're still googly-eyed, you're still obsessed, you're still focused on them, and you're looking outward instead of coming back to you. So the people who are ready to heal, you stick with me, you come with me. But this is what we're dealing with now. If you're ready to grow up, if you're ready to really let it go, then I'm afraid some of the answers are dull, they're not shiny, they're not exciting. And the answer is, you've got to overcome your emotional flashbacks, you've got to overcome your codependency, and the only way that you're going to do that is by healing the CPTSD and doing the work. It can't work for you. You have to make it work. And if you don't have that will, and you don't have that determination to make it work, to face those demons, again, I can't help you. I wish you well. You want that toy, you want to go and play with that toy, your little golden bauble, please do, it's your life. But if you are ready to let go of that and say, look, I carried this for a long time, I'm pretty sure it's radioactive. Like, why is that? Well, spiritually speaking, like my hair and my teeth are falling out, so maybe this golden bauble I've been holding onto isn't that good for me. I'm like, really? Okay, maybe we should put it to one side, start doing something else, grow some new teeth and hair. I can't save you from pain. Nobody can. If you're alive now and you're a human being on this planet, your destiny is to experience some suffering. You will experience pain. But I'm telling you now, you're going to experience a lot more pain and suffering being a wretch half living, half dead, half alive, living on your knees, than if you say, right, let's do this. I'm sick of it. They've had this much of my life, they're not getting any more of my fucking time. If you want to get over this and you want to get past the trauma bond, guess what? It's a hard path and you're going to have to grow up